back to MyView TV, the people's platform, the home of undiluted news, reviews, updates, and your daily dose of entertainment. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, like, share, and subscribe.
I don't bring nobody forward in your cheer for me. Everything what you see up my natural talent. Let me tell you something. You see, when you know what to please the audience with, it's simple, me.
Don't watch life from the sidelines. Take that leap. I'm talking to you right now. Chase your dreams and make it happen. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer and closer to your goals. Wagwan, my people. Hope everybody doing okay. Hope everybody doing all right. Give thanks to life and the gathering. Then catch your style now. Manchester United win and big fufu Liverpool lose. Yes, they lose and be happy. But watch your Wagwan pa Wagwan now, people. I don't know much longer. I can't tell no Wagwan pa Wagwan, you know. Because I'm still there. I track Melissa and I want Nana Panda. If she go come, if she go turn back. So guess what? I see our best me can keep on posted. And I'm going to see Wagwan pan Wagwan. If you don't hear nothing more from me, I'm like God. Me like God, me water God. Me na on the internet and baga something. But I'm going to see what me can do in the meantime, between time. So kuya.
You are asked to evacuate now. A bus is at the police station in Old Harbour Bay for you to assist you to take you to the shelter in Old Harbour. Please, we are asking you to evacuate now. All residents of Old Harbour Bay, you are asked to evacuate to the shelter at Old Harbour Heights now. A bus is at the police station awaiting you to assist you to the shelter.
All right.
Now, I know that there are many Jamaicans who are anxious, who are very concerned, and rightfully so. You should be concerned. But the best way to address anxiety and any nervousness and concern is to be prepared. So I would urge all my fellow citizens, everyone who is now feeling nervous, anxious, uncertain, that now is the time to be prepared. And the elements of preparedness for a hurricane would be, first of all, you want to protect your shelter. That's absolutely critical, because in a hurricane, you would need to be somewhere where you can be sheltered. Roofs, windows, start there. Battening down. I noticed that many Jamaicans are putting building blocks on their zinc and so forth. That is a solution, but a better option would be to use sandbags, which stay longer and are not likely to be blown off. If you can find plywood or anything of that form to protect your windows, that would be useful. We always say to remove threatening branches from trees. We have seen one incident where someone was injured trying to do that, so we advise that if you're doing that, be super careful in doing that. The next layer of preparation would be to look for areas that are vulnerable to flooding. If you find that your yard is below road level or in a water zone, meaning you have built in a river course, you're on a slope, you're near to the sea, you're in a low-lying area, you're close to or on a gully bank, or historically, you are in an area where the river may change course, you want to take protective measures. And again, simple sandbagging can be useful in directing water away from your shelter. Once you have sorted out your shelter issues, then you have to look for sustenance, food and water. Make sure that you have food that is non-perishable and water that is in proper containers, scaled to the number of persons who live in your household. Then you want to look for ensuring that you have at least some form of lighting, because it is highly likely that the electricity will go either preemptively or as a result of the storm itself. Batteries and flashlights are recommended. You know, the good old home sweet home lamp is always there, but we're always very careful, you know, last resort. Batteries and flashlights, today's technology with LED lights, you can have lights going for a little while in the night. Solar lamps are always good to have. These are things that you would want to have in your possession. Of course, in today's world, telecommunications is important. Make sure you have at least some credit if you use prepaid plans, that you keep your device your device is safe. We can't give you any guarantee that throughout the storm you will have full coverage. It is likely that you may have some coverage at some point, but you should always, in your hurricane plan, be prepared that you may be out of communication. But nevertheless, keep your instruments safe. Don't let them get wet so that at least if the signals were to come back, you'll be able to connect. Having done all of that, there is another important thing which we ask you to do. Keep your documents safe. Your identification, your passport, any prescriptions that you may need to be refilled, land titles, and all of those things, keep them safe. Keep them in a safe place. Yes, there would be distribution of benefits without the need for identification, but that would be very limited. In fact, in the humanitarian relief and recovery phase, I would say that most, if not all, the distribution of benefits will require some form of identification because of the accountability issues that even though it's a hurricane, we can't suspend accountability. So keep your identification safe. At this time, there must be a unified position with all the civic stakeholders and all our political stakeholders. And so I have been in communication with the leader of the opposition. We should meet, and I will give the opposition a full brief. I'm certain that they will have suggestions which we will listen to and take on board. And if determined, then we will have a Zoom call with members of parliament. I know many of them are in the field, so it depends on how many that we would be able to mobilize. But we have already provisioned them with resources to clean drains and gullies. I know many of them are out in the field supervising these works. And from being a member of parliament myself and having gone through this many, many times over, your constituents are of the belief that every drain and every gully is going to be cleaned. That may not be possible. Certainly, you would need much more equipment mobilized than we have capabilities to do, much more supervision. And so what the MPs would be doing would be trying to concentrate on the main ones. That is where their efforts would be. So if you didn't see the drain running behind your yard being cleaned, don't believe that no work is happening. Work is happening, but it may not be in your locality. That is being monitored by the NWA, and we will get a report very soon as to how many drains we were able to clean. That is indeed very important preemptive action when it comes to treating with flooding. So outside of that, from an administrative point of view, all our entities have been tasked and mobilized. I suspect all the officers understand what the mission is. It is, from all indications, it is going to be a direct hit, and all of Jamaica will be impacted. I urge everyone to be wise about this, to put aside the nervousness and the anxiety, and be practical, prepare, as I have outlined, how we should be prepared, and continue to pray. We have seen hurricanes at the last moment take a turn for the better, and I still have hope that the impact will not be as bad as it is shaping up to be. But we will prepare for the worst and continue to pray for the best. The impact, whatever it is, the preparation can have some mitigating effect on the impact, but the real work starts the hour after the impact. And what we have done in terms of national preparedness is to put everything in place to be able to respond the hour after the impact. And that is how quickly we intend to recover from this hurricane.
We started the very first press briefing, Minister Dixon, by saying that it was not time to panic, but time to prepare. Well, Jamaicans, it's still not time to panic, but the time for preparation is running out. From that perspective, I want to not thank Evan for his words, but thank him for the hours that he and his team have been putting in, certainly over the last 2 or so weeks, in monitoring this critical weather system. The Met Service is operating 24 hours a day, as it always does, but operating at full throttle to ensure that the information that we all need to prepare and to plan is indeed made available. But to Mr. Hall from the Observer's question, let us not have anyone in Jamaica in any corner think that they will escape effect. Let us be clear, with every Jamaican that this is a large, slow-moving, dangerous storm, and that it is in your interest to A, listen to reputable news sources, B, ignore sources that are proven to be misinformation on a regular basis, and to tune to those sources that we have told you about before so that you have the accurate information in a timely fashion that allows you to plan and take the appropriate action. These sources, as we have said, Minister Dixon, are the JIS through the Ministry of Education and Information, certainly the Ministry of Local Government and ODPEM, the Met Services channels, the Prime Minister's channels, the Office of the Prime Minister's channels, the Ministry of Water, Environment and Climate Change channels. Stick to official government sources and reputable media houses for your briefings and for your updates as to the state of the storm, because it is a slow-moving, very wet, very dangerous storm. And we all know the areas that are affected by flood, by land slippage, and certainly that are affected because of being marooned when they are cut off because of trees falling. So stick to the reputable sources. Beyond that, I want to update the country that NWC's emergency protocols are now all in place. We have taken an additional step from the updates which were provided yesterday. We have moved to secure power supply additionally for our loading bays, for our trucking services. We have also moved to secure accommodation very close to our loading bays for the officers who will be needed to be in place so that trucks can immediately start to move once we have the all clear from ODPEM to start distributing water, even while we turn on additional systems. Now, as we have said in the past, priority is given to hospitals, infirmaries, and indeed places of detention, and of course places of safety for our children, because that is where they are unable to help themselves in a particular way. But we can assure you that what we have updated is indeed in place. The steps we have taken for power supply, we believe, make us more resilient, certainly than we were a year ago, and we will continue to build on that resilience. But now is the time, as we believe we're wrapping up our preparations for the event. As Evan has said, we expect to start experiencing storm conditions this evening. Sometime tomorrow we will close off our intakes so that we reduce siltation in our reservoirs and major storage areas so that we're able to restart the systems as soon as our energy supply turns on, either the temporary energy supply or JPS. This is a serious storm, but we are working with our international partners, certainly through the National Hurricane Center, who coordinate their information through the Met Service to give you the information that you need. We can confirm that we're working with all of our local partners also to make sure that we're able to respond to need for urgent water supply immediately after the storm.
Watch out, bro.